All right. Welcome, everybody, to the November 8th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting. Recommendations from the Planning Commission on certain items from this agenda will be considered by the Board of Commissioners at their regular meeting on November 16th, 2021 at 10:30 a.m. The Planning Commission utilizes speaker request forms, which are available in the Commission chambers during the meeting. Those are located in the back of the room on the table. If you are the applicant or the agent for any items on the agenda, it's not necessary to fill those out. If you're here to speak on an item and you're neither of those, then we would ask that you do that. First item is roll call, and note that everyone is here today. First item on the agenda is approval of the October 25th, 2021 minutes. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, John.
page 12 of and it's the, under the top item, under Commissioner Rundy, left the meeting and returned. And there's a double return. She can't come back twice. First, we got to get her out the door.
What'd they do?
You left and you came back, Sandy. Thank you. Are there any other corrections to the minutes?
Well, okay. I wanted to be here.
Noting none, I entertain a motion for approval, noting the correction.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Second item on the agenda is approval of today's agenda. On today's consent agenda, we have items 3 through 7, followed by regular items 8 through 12. 13 through 17 are our normal end of meeting items. Are there changes to today's agenda? Not seeing anyone in the audience. Hearing none, seeing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of today's agenda.
I so move. Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Noting none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Consent agenda. Brittany.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Molitor, Planning Director. The following items have been placed on the consent agenda for action to be taken on all items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda by any planning commissioner, staff member, or audience member for separate consideration. The findings of this planning commission on certain items from the agenda are recommendations to the Pennington County Board of Commissioners, who will make the final decision. Item number 3 is minor plat MPL 2169 for Jeffrey Jamison. KTM Design Solutions is the agent to combine lots 15, 16, 17, and 18 to create lot 15R of Oak Meadows Estates subdivision. And staff is recommending approval of minor plat MPL 2169 with conditions. Item number 4 is minor plat MPL 2171 for Don and Laura Elliott. KTM Design Solutions is the agent to combine 2 lots to create Lot 29 revised of Block 3 of the original town site of Silver City subdivision. Staff is recommending approval of minor plat MPL 2171 with conditions. Item number 5 is minor plat MPL 2170 for Roger and Kathy Eckert. Fisk Land Surveying is the agent to create Lot 1 of Eckert subdivision. And staff is recommending approval of minor plat MPL 2170 with conditions. Item number 6 is minor plat MPL 2174 for PDQ Construction, Inc., Justin Devaney, to combine 2 lots to create Lot 7R of the Forks at Remington Ranch subdivision. Staff is recommending approval of minor plat MPL 2174 with conditions. And finally, item 7 is minor plat MPL 2173 for Dennis and Renon Kamick. Fisk Land Surveying is the agent to combine 3 lots to create Lot 4R, Block 8 of Forest Home Development Subdivision. And staff is recommending approval of minor plat MPL 2173 with conditions.
Thank you. Are there any items that staff wishes to pull from the consent agenda?
No, not at this time.
Are there any items that the membership wishes to pull from the consent agenda?
I
Sandy?
would like item 5. I just have a question on it.
Mr. Chair, item 3.
Item 3, item 5. Any others? Noting none. For those folks in the audience, the The consent agenda consists of items 3 through 7. We will hear separately items 3 and 5, which leads item 4, 6, and 7 that will be voted on at the same time. Does anybody wish to hear those for separate consideration? Noting none, I'd entertain a motion for the approval of the consent agenda items 4, 6, and 7.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. We're on item 3.
Jason, we're going to shorten this up. I already checked with the chair. It's just over a clerical. Page 3 of 5, item 4, conditional use permit. I believe that should be 2020.
You're correct. Yep.
Based on that, I'd move to approve that one item.
Second.
Motion and second for approval of item 3. Further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 5.
Yeah, my question is, under the criteria reviewed, it indicates it's not properly zoned and there is no legal access to the property. I don't see those items addressed in the recommendation, and I wonder how they're being handled.
So the applicant is was going through the rezone process, and then the legal access has actually been taken care of. There was concern with it crossing Forest Service land, but they've
Yes.
moved the approach, and that approach has been approved by Highway. Just at the time of the staff report, it wasn't, but that legal access has been taken care of, and the zoning is being taken care of.
Oh, okay, so number 5 should have maybe been checked, yes?
At the time, number 5 should be checked no. However, with the property zone, that should have been checked yes.
I see, okay, thank you very much.
Further questions? Good. Staff's recommendation is for approval of agenda item 5. Is there a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 8.
Good morning, Commissioner. Chutima Sabbun, Planning Department. Agenda item number 8 is conditional use permit, CU 2162, to allow a vacation home rental on the subject property. The applicants and landowners are Michael and Megan Mayer. The location is 24405 Oak Meadows Road in Keystone. Staff reviewed the application and found that there are issues that need to be addressed by the applicants. Staff has been working with the applicants to address them. Therefore, staff recommends to continue conditional use permit CU 2162 to no later than the January 10th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting to allow the applicants time to address several issues on the subject property.
Thank you. Questions for staff? Motion to continue? Would entertain a motion to continue if there are no questions.
I so move.
Second.
Motion and second to continue. CU 21,
Just a question on it now.
go ahead.
So are they allowed to continue to use it for a vacation home rental in the meantime, before the next meeting, for the next date?
No, they should not, because it's still considered a violation.
Okay.
Yep.
Good question. There was a motion and a second to continue conditional use permit CU 21-62 to no later than January 10th, 2022. Further discussion? Noting none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 9.
Item 9 is a layout plat request LPL 21-68 to subdivide and create Lot JR and Lot W of Phase 3 of Rushmore Ranch Estate subdivision. The applicant is Southern Black Hills Water Systems NSYNC. The location is 13779 George Place in Keystone. The existing lot is Lot J of Phase 3 of Rushmore Ranch Estate subdivision. It is 4.37 acres and contains a single-family residence and a well house. The applicant proposed to subdivide into 2 lots. Lot JR of Phase 3 of Rushmore Ranch Estate subdivisions will be 4.20 acre and will contain the single-family residence. Lot W of Phase 3 of Rushmore Ranch Estate subdivision will be 0.75 acres with the well house. The request was routed for interdepartmental review. No significant concerns or comments or objections were received. Staff is unable to find the information about the well house. A building permit is required with associated penalty, fee and penalty fee being paid, which is included as a condition of approval. Staff finds no significant issues with the applicant's request as it appears to be in harmony with existing lots and current land uses in the area. Staff recommends approval of layout plan LPL 21-68 with conditions.
Thank you. Questions for staff?
I have one, the picture of the site. Is the residence a pole barn or a metal building, or what is that?
It's a residence with a large garage in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Further questions for staff? Noting none, does anyone in the audience wish to speak on this item? Hearing none, seeing none, staff recommends approval of layout plan LPL 21-68 with 10 conditions. Is there a motion?
I so move. Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Noting none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. We're on item 10.
Good morning, Cody Sack, Environmental Planner. Item 10 is Comprehensive Plan Amendment CA 21-14. It is to amend the comprehensive plan to change the future land use from rural residential district to low-density residential district. The applicant and landowner is Dennis and Wyone Kamick. The agent is KTM Design Solutions. Janelle and the landowners are in the audience if there are any questions. The location of the property is at 22941 Forest Road. Involves 2.26 acres. And current land use is residential. Access is off Forest Road, and there is no special flood hazard area. When looking at comprehensive plan amendment, we look at current and future land use in the area. For current zoning within 1/2 mile, there's suburban residential district, which is brown, rural residential district, which is yellow, agriculture district, which is light green, and open space, which is the dark green. We also look at the future land use, and the future land use within 1/2 mile is open space, dark green, ranchette residential district, which is the tan, rural residential district, which is the yellow, and suburban residential district, which is the brown. This was routed around for interdepartment review. No major comments or concerns were noted. Future land use within the area identifies several parcels as suburban residential district within 1/2 mile of the subject property. Low density residential district is more restrictive than suburban residential district. Therefore, the applicant's request to amend the comprehensive plan is in harmony with the current land uses and future zoning in the area. So staff is recommending approval of comprehensive plan amendment CA 21-14.
Thank you. Questions for staff?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Charlie.
just one. Low density, where does that fit in? Is that ranchette?
No, low density it sits in between rural residential and suburban residential. All three of them allow the same uses. They just have different lot size requirements. Low density requires a half acre lot size, where suburban requires 20,000, 1 acre if it's on a well. 20,000 square feet is the lowest they can go if it's on public water system. Rural residential is 3 acres. They're looking at platting that into one lot, which is 3 acres. So they have to
Sure,
rezone.
you're lower than density.
Yep.
Then staff looks at those, in other words, as it's still the same, but you've created a different density level. Help me out here.
Yeah, we look at in the past we've looked at spot zoning and people see colors. It's actually uses. If you look at the definition of spot zoning in the American Planning Association, it's granting a zoning that would grant a use that is totally different than what's in the area. Low density residential allows the same uses as the rural residential and the suburban residential. It just has a different lot size requirement. They did go in front of the board for a lot size variance, and that was denied. So now they're going through the rezone process.
But you know how I'm picky on the colors, so we don't have a color for low density.
No, low density. What it was is in the under the prior to February, low density was what's now considered the rural residential with the
Right.
3 lot. It was moved to the half acre, which there's no color in. There's no actually low density residential. People have to rezone to it before you'll see it on the map.
My point. Thanks, Cody. I was just picking on you. Thank you.
Further questions for staff? Noting none, staff recommends approval of comprehensive plan amendment, CA 21-14. Hold on, I want to make sure that no one in the audience wishes to speak on this. Anybody in the audience wish to speak on this? No? Okay. Staff recommends approval of comprehensive plan amendment, CA 21-14. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Noting none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. We're on item 11.
Item 11 is rezone RZ 21-29. It is to rezone 2.25 acres from rural residential district to low density residential district. The applicant and landowner is Dennis O'Neill Kamick. The agent is KTM Design Solutions, both of which are in the audience if there are any questions. The location of the property is at 22941 Forest Road and involves 2.25 acres. Existing land use is residential. Access is off Forest Road and there is no special flood hazard area on the property. When looking at rezones, we use the same criteria as comprehensive plan amendments. We look at the current zoning within 1/2 mile. And in 1/2 mile, there's suburban residential district, which is brown, rural residential district, which is yellow, agriculture district, which is light green, and open space, which is dark green. We also look at the future land use. And the future land use is open space, which is the dark green, ranchette residential district, which is the tan, rural residential district, which is yellow, and suburban residential district, which is brown. This was right around for an department review. There were no major comments or concerns that were received. Future land use in the area identifies several parcels as suburban residential district within 1/2 mile of subject property. Low density residential district is a more restrictive zoning than suburban residential district. Therefore, the applicant's request appears to rezone appears to be in harmony with the current land uses and future zoning in the area. So staff is recommending approval of rezone RZ 21-29.
Questions for staff on this item?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 12.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item 12 is layout plan LPL 2172 to subdivide and create tracks 4A and 4B of Schrocker Subdivision. The applicants are Michael and Jocelyn Sullivan. The agent is Bradley Limbo. The property is zoned rural residential district and consists of 7.88 acres. The existing land use is residential. Access is off of South Rockerville Road via an approved easement, and there is no special flood hazard area on the subject property. Currently, as the property sits today, it does have a single-family residence with an on-site wastewater treatment system and a shed. Again, they have access off an existing 30-foot easement that has been recorded. The proposed lots, consists of a lot that has 4.93 acres, which the single-family residence will be on, and a 3-acre lot size. The applicant's request appears to be in harmony with existing lots and current land uses in the area. The proposed lot sizes meet the current zoning and the future land use designation, so staff finds no significant issue with this request and recommends approval of layout plan LPL 2172.
Will they be taking access off of Neck Yoke Road?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
And that was one of the comments from the highway department, that the approaches be approved.
all right, because for some reason I must have, I don't know how I missed that in the thing, but I didn't see that drawing. Was the drawing in the packet?
This one?
Yes.
It should have been.
Okay.
No.
I'm not
It
going
wasn't in the
crazy.
packet? Oh.
All right. I have no further questions. Any further questions for staff on this? Hearing none, seeing none, staff recommends approval of layout plan LPL 21-72. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second for approval. Further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. We're on item 13.
The county board report, the Board of Commissioners concurred with the Planning Commission's recommendations from their October 25th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
Questions? Items from the public? Note for the record that there's no one left in the audience. Item 15, items from staff, billing permit report.
The building permit report, again, we are far above the number of permits that we were last year at this time. We've issued 20 single-family residences building permits this month versus 7 at this same time last year. Again, for the year, we are at about 153 new single-family residences in the county. Last year, we were at about 61, and just overall, we're almost getting close to double of what we had for permits last year. One note too, our proposed revenues for the office, we are about $100,000 ahead of what we had projected for collected revenues for permits this year.
That's a good problem.
Yes.
Questions on the building permit report for staff?
The hotel, motel, 20, what are those?
That is actually the, for the cabins, for the request that you had heard at the last meeting for Justin Eisenbraun, for the wedding venue. Those were the cabins associated with that property.
Right, you'd already okayed that back in August, I think it was, of last year.
Yes, well, actually, the cabins are used by right in a highway service district because they're vacation home rentals, so those were just building permits
Okay.
for that property.
Okay.
Yeah, the numbers are significant. If there's no further questions, we'll move on to item 16, items from the membership. Geez, crickets today. Item 17 is adjournment. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second for adjournment. Further discussion?
I did.
Boy, that's really fast.
Charlie,
Geez, I
Charlie,
guess.
what happened?
I was sleeping.
No further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Huh.